What's going on, guys, and welcome to another edition of the Coach's Vault or the Vault Talk. Okay, it's your host EP. Okay, today I got all the guys with me. I got Terrance, Marcus, Dustin, and Leo. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a few things. Okay, so first one that we're going to be talking about today is how do you deal with different personality types in regards to coaching? Actually, reverse before Marcus gets bad at me. Okay, all right, I'm going to come back to the question because I'm bad at this. Okay, before we even get into that, okay, remember, like, subscribe, go ahead, check the Coach's Vault. Okay, do everything you have to do. We're awesome. We're dropping hot content all the time. If you guys aren't on this, you guys are tripping. Okay, TRIPPIN apostrophe, no G. Okay, you tripping. Okay, but anyway, all right, back to the topic. All right, I gotta spell it. I gotta spell it out for these people, man. Okay, I just gotta spell it out for these people. All right. Anyway, going back to the question. Okay, so how do you deal with different personality types in regards to coaching? So now this was a Terrance question. So I want Terrance to elaborate exactly where he got this question from and how exactly he wants us to go ahead and hit these different personality types. So go ahead, Terrance, explain it just a little bit.
So recently I joined a 6-week apprenticeship through King's Performance, which we actually had on the Minority Report, an interview with the owners, Garrick and Rob. So they've been introducing the topic of gym personalities. So there's 4 different personality types. You have Sapphire, Pearl, Emerald, and Ruby. So just to sum it up real quick to not be long-winded, a Sapphire is someone who's motivated from fun, and they're very outgoing type of people. Pearls are people who are motivated from pretty much people-pleasing, and they think about other people a lot. They're very selfless people. Emeralds are people who are motivated by facts. They're motivated by facts. They're motivated by research, things of that nature. So they're very technical people. And rubies are people who are motivated from challenge. They're very much the type of people that you would think of if you tell them, oh, you can't do that. They want to prove you wrong type of individuals. So we pretty much had conversations about this within the last week or two. So my question was just whether you want to address whether you want to address the gyms or not, how do you guys typically adjust based off of what type of personality you see when you're coaching someone?
All right, I'll go first unless Marcus wants to interrupt me.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just playing, man. All right, you seem down. I'm gonna talk to you after this. You seem like you need a hug, even though we live 1,000 miles away. I'm gonna give you a virtual hug. Anyway, okay. All right. Anyway, so with those different personality types, I think with me, the thing that gets me as good as I am with coaching is that I usually I'm very centered. So I usually say the same things, talk the same way, but it's also noticing those personality types and how I have to communicate certain things to them in regards to certain movements or certain ways they're going to be doing things or certain things I want to be touching upon. So I guess with those people pleasers, I think they're probably the easiest type to actually coach because they're always attentive. They're always ready to please and stuff like that. But with those kind of people, you also have to be aware of how far they're willing to go to push themselves to make you happy. So also educating them on making sure that they're doing it for themselves. So that one right there is ensuring that hey, look, I want you to do the best that you can and make sure that you're also from a selfless place and telling them that, hey, look, you have to go that you have to be selfish when you go ahead and do this. This isn't for me. This is for you. I guess with those outgoing people. So what were those outgoing people again? These 4 things the colors are confusing.
Yeah. Think of just people that are motivated more by fun. So those are the people, they don't even really care about so much of the details of, all the technical aspects of working out. They'll get more motivated from the fun side of it.
I guess those are really easy people in general. I think that's more of just bullshitting back and forth, but making sure that you're doing things correctly. I think people that enjoy it for fun usually sometimes either go two ways. They're either really technically proficient or they're not technically proficient because they want to do it their way that they think is fun. Okay. But they have to be reminded continuously that this is the correct way to do things. I mean, those are the longest lasting kind of people the people that do it because of pure enjoyment. Um, the last two, man, this is actually really hard. This is really hard. I guess the last two, the facts person, I think I kind of interact better with because I like giving information. And those people ask the most questions. Uh, I think feeding them information constantly, giving them feedback on what they're doing objectively is very important. They want to know how, like, what they did last time, how they did last time, how they're doing correctly, and constantly giving feedback. It's not that they need reassurance; it's that they want to know if they're getting better or what they're doing to get better. Um,
Yeah,
and
would you
without,
say that you're motivated by that way, like the facts thing? Is that why you think you can relate with them the best?
um, I guess I do more than I am more that way than anything else. I guess that's why we relate a lot, and that's why I guess with all these personality types, those people are drawn to people like my client base is basically those kind of people. And like even though you don't even think about it or not, it's just that's the way that I am. Like even though I do think lifting's fun, I do like more educating and more giving information than anything else. So I tend to be drawn to those people as my clients more than anything else.
That's interesting to hear.
Can I
Yeah.
intervene real quick?
What?
Intervene real quick with you?
What?
Yeah, dude.
No, I was
Yeah.
intervening. I was gonna say
Oh yeah.
like
Go ahead. Go ahead.
for trainers, like the best. I think the best client is that type of person. And like I look at it like, well, the way I learned it was like type A, type B, type C, type D, type of in like personality traits. And type A is a person who wants all the information, who you literally have to like, this is your program to get to to get to. But at the same time, like that's like your best client, but it's the fastest client that's going to leave you the quickest at the same time because they're the ones that they're using all the data to get to their end goal, which they'll probably get there faster than the person who just lifting for fun. But then once they get to that goal and they get all the information from you as a trainer, you have to be acceptable of like, okay, that person is going to now leave most likely because they learned so much from you because there was just so much about that data that they're the first ones to like to go because they don't get to their goals a lot quicker than that person who just like who's coming in to lift. So I think like for trainers, like that's the one thing like when you're working with your clients, you have to also not only understand that with their personality, each personality has like a certain time length with you. No matter how great of a trainer you are, you know that person who's having fun is going to stay with you because they're seeing results, but they're enjoying their workouts instead of working 9 to 5 and then going to the gym by themselves and they're trying to figure it out. Compared to the guy who comes in religiously every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning to go work out, what I mean, and who was goal was like, all right, I need to lose 30 pounds, but you teach them how to lose 30 pounds, how to keep it off. They're like, well, I you did your job, which is what trainers want anyway. Like, we want to make sure that we're able to get our clients to get to their goals and then, set them off into the world so that they can continue living on even without us. But like, those are the people that leave you the fastest are those people like that are so data, driven at the same time.
Well, that's an interesting point because I think another way to look at it too is I think some trainers might have the idea if they want long-lasting clients, or maybe some trainers might have the idea of whether they want people to stick with them for a certain time period. I don't know. I base my business model kind of having like a long-lasting community. But I always wonder how that works for some people too. I don't know if some people just go on with the mentality if they want clients for 3 to 6 months so they can go super hard with them, and then now they have their next batch of clients that roll in like that. So I don't know how you guys operate, but I kind of operate more on the
No,
longevity side.
we operate the same way. Like, I'm at Equinox. Our whole goal is to be, we build friendships and like, and we work. But the thing is that at the end of the day, when you're working with, people who are like, data driven, like they want to see how they did, week 1 compared to week 5, you know what I mean? And like see what their progression. you know what I mean? Like, no matter what you do, that person has a higher chance of, you know, leaving you as a trainer because the fact is that, like, well, you know, throughout that, say, you know, 4 months, they learn practically everything, how to program properly by themselves because you're teaching them how to program. They're teaching them how to eat. So it's the person that, like, you know, you don't set a time length of like, okay, I'm trying to let you go within like X amount of time. It's like, no, our goal is to get you, our goal is to get you to X amount of weight or this look. And then once once we get there, we can reassess on what you plan on doing. But most times when people get to that goal, you know, they learn so much along the way. It's like, well, I can now go off by myself and be okay. So like, I'm just saying, like, with different personalities, there's different lengths. No matter how much of a friendship you build, like, you can still be friends outside of training, but like each personality has a certain time length with that trainer because
just kind of runs its course.
Yeah, it runs your course because of that personality.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all experienced it too, being coaches too. So.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Like, you know, being a coach and training different personalities, like, it's the most amazing thing ever because each person has their own, you know, own way of doing things, and you know, you're always on your toes depending on the person that you're training. So it's like one of those fun things as a trainer.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
That's interesting.
I think because we just went like 17 different directions with this question.
So many different questions. So many different questions.
We could have went another 20 ways.
Are we even on topic anymore? I'm not even sure.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'll circle back because it was a good tangent. But I think how, as a trainer, as a coach, how you adjust the multiple personalities is, and I did this like when I first started coaching, when I was still probably in high school, like, you know, end football season and track season, and you still lift, you want to coach all your friends around you. You can't get lost in other people's personalities. So you have to stay true to how a coach you are. Like, for me, for instance, I am like on the cheery side almost all the time. I'm not like yelling in your face like Ronnie Coleman, but I'm like on the class is always like 99% full kind of view. And I just, based on the client, you just have to adjust like the minor details of an exercise. So say you have someone that is technical, you have them do a lunge. You would break down the lunge through like, you'd break down into detail from your foot to your ankle, to your knee, to your hip, to your core, and then they perform the lunge. Versus someone who's having fun, you probably just show them how to lunge and then have them go lunge like 100 meters or something, or 50 meters, something to challenge them. So I think that's where the personality traits come to, is like the minor details of the exercise. But as a coach, you gotta like stay true to your personality. Because if you've got a client already, then they like know how you are as a whole. It's just then explaining and expanding your relationship is when you kind of have to. You can't call everybody a bitch to let them lift heavier weight. Like, I'm pretty sure a middle-aged woman would not respond well to you calling them that as compared to a 27-year-old
stripper that we were teaching.
Yeah.
Oh man, that stripper.
Well, I don't know, that stripper. She's a wild card.
Yeah, she's wild. How's she doing? Is she doing well? I bet she is.
I'm sure she's making that money.
Yeah, she's
Actually,
making.
Corona.
She drive-through stripping.
Yeah,
Have you seen that in Florida? Like when things started first opening up, like this strip club, like in the middle of the day, which is a horrible time to see like any strippers in the middle of the day, had a drive-through strip club, like pole on the side, like barricades. You just drive.
Well, I heard she was at the COVID party in Texas, but she came out safe.
Good for her.
And she got immunity like no other.
I bet she did. Yep. Yep. I
And
mean,
once Florida have to drive through freaking strip club.
It would only be Florida. It would only be Florida.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, but I think this question like would be completely different. I don't think we have to go there. But like for somebody that teaches group classes, how do you deal with different personality types is like the real question. I think I don't know that's a hard one. How to deal with it? I think right there is literally what Leo said, is being censored the entire time. Like, you know exactly who you are, but if you keep trying to change yourself for other people, and I mean, like, you change minor words and details, and people are going to ask questions where you individualize. But I think teaching your way and not trying to be anybody different for anybody else, will probably be the best idea for all of this personality question. Yeah, I mean, I think what happens is that if you lean one way or the other, yeah, I mean, people kind of understand who you are at the same time. So it's not just that. So like they'd be like, all right, this is how he's gonna explain something to me. He knows that he's gonna have to dumb it down, or he knows he's gonna have to do this or whatever like that. So explaining this is how I kind of teach class. Like if I have 6 people, here's the list. Okay, we're gonna go A, B, and C. A, B, and C. You're gonna do this many reps, or A is this with this many sets, this many reps. B is this many sets, this many. Like I explain it to the T, everything, so anybody can grasp whatever they want. Okay. Then I ask them simply, do you understand? Because what happens is if you don't ask, you understand, go, how many people understood, and then how many questions are you going to get?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the point of it is that if you slow classes down, you coach your own way, all right, which is I'm extremely detailed. So like I'll tell you exactly what the hell you're going to do, how you're going to do it, how heavy it should be in your RP, your percentages, whatever like that. Okay. If you don't understand that, let's grab pieces of it. You ask me questions. Okay. And then we go from there. But I think this is it. I think it's interesting how to deal with personality types in general. But I mean, we can go on all day.
At the train, it's like law of attraction too. Like your personality is going to attract whoever you really want to train.
Yeah.
So like
exactly.
It's hard for somebody who's upbeat and with the upbeat personality to train somebody who's mopey and like who's like no energy. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
It's like a very low chance that you're gonna train that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes personal training so unique too. Because like you said, you'll normally have people that flock to your personality for that. I don't do much group work like that, so I don't really know how that works. More so, I would assume a certain personality type would one, lead groups, and two, the person that signs up for group is going to be a certain personality. But you just never know with these cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, with group classes. Like big group classes. So like your Orange Theory classes and stuff. Everybody knows who the coach is, and so the coach really doesn't have to change anything. If they know that coach is gonna like cuss the whole time, and you sign up for the class, chances are you respond well to that. Or if you know that coach, so I think with big group classes, you don't change who you are at all. Other people will change to be a part of that group class.
Yeah. They'll sign up or they won't sign up. I think it's as simple as that.
And I usually view this could be a wrong assumption, but I usually view people that like to do the big group classes that look for it as like the fun activity.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely just an add-on, like Soul Cycle and all those extra classes and stuff like that. That's not
like it's not a lot of technique stuff so much. It's just like a move fast, rapid, have fun, breathe hard, sweat, go home.
Yeah. It's all about the community. It's the same thing like it's the same thing with CrossFit. If you really think about it, it just happens to be more technical than anything else.
Well, it should be more technical.
It should be more technical. Should is the correct word. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. All right. So this one came from Marcus. Okay. So how do you guys adjust when you're having a bad day, but like you're completely busy the entire day, no time to like rest, reflect, or kind of cool down from however you're doing. So let's take it from the get. Like you start off, like you roll off on the wrong side of the bed, it's already a bad day kind of thing. We all have it, so let's see how everybody else kind of adjusts that being busy and being basically pissed off the entire day, which is me all day. Anyway, okay, why don't we start with Dustin, because Dustin hasn't said a single fucking word.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I thought I was gonna get to go in the last one. It's okay. It's
fine.
For me, like, if I wake up groggy, if I wake up wrong side of the bed, whatever, I kind of just think of all the athletes and all the coaches that I work with, and they know like the standard Dustin that they're getting, and I have to uphold that. And all the athletes know that as soon as they come in, like not now because I have a mask on, they can't see it, but they know that I'm going to smile, say, hey, wave, ask them how their day is, all that stuff. So, I mean, I kind of just think about, like, it doesn't really matter how I feel, but I'm not going to let everybody know that I'm having a bad day, because what if they're also having a bad day, something happened with them, then it doesn't matter what happened with me. I'm there for them and to try and make, their day better. Even if their lift isn't fantastic, I want to try and get them to leave with a smile on their face if they came in down. So it's kind of how I think about it, how I look at it. It doesn't really matter how my day is going. I got to be there for somebody else if their day is not the best.
Exactly. Marcus.
Man, that's always a tough one because people forget that sometimes we're human as well as trainers. Like they forget that we have feelings too, and they always expect us to come in upbeat and cheerful, and that's not the case all the time. But it's rough. But what I always do. Especially if I'm booked, I'll give myself at least 5 minutes in between clients just to recompose myself and put that fake mask right back on. You know what I mean? Smile, just be, joke, just try to be cheerful, joke with them, and just keep that aggression all inside because I tell myself at the end of the day, when you go lift, man, that's gonna be a great lift, and I keep reminding myself yo, this 4 more hours, man, you might have one of the best lifting sessions of your entire life, because right now you just pissed off. But you gotta just you guys gotta try to reflect, if you can, tell your client hey, jump on a treadmill real fast for 5 minutes while you go to the bathroom and just think by yourself for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? That quick little
I thought you were gonna say I was gonna go to the bathroom and cry. I was like, hold up.
Nah, you gotta walk away. First of all,
hey, what's wrong with that, bro? It's 2020.
Yeah. It's fine. He's over here. It's Marcus, man. He ain't gonna cry. I'm just playing. But anyway, go ahead.
No, but you give yourself 5 minutes. You just go somewhere. Even if you go you take you take a quick walk to your car to go grab gum or something. You know what I mean? You just take those quick little moments to be all right, yo, we got this for another hour. Get it together and let's bang this out. You know what I mean? But you always gotta try to remind yourself why you're there. You know what I mean? Just like you said, Dustin, you're there for the client, and no matter how shitty your day is, you gotta put that fake mask on and be all right, let's have a bang out this session for you, have a great session for you, and then I handle my shit after. So that's what I normally always do is this fake mask on, enjoy with my client, and then when it's my turn, when it's my turn to go lift, put some heavy metal on and just rock some weights and just clang and bang.
Clang and bang.
Clang and bang, man. All right. All right, Leo.
I view it as I take the MJ approach. So I'm pretty sure it was MJ. Yeah, MJ, where he said when people ask him how come he doesn't take games off, because he says that could be the one game that one kid who's never seen me play before is coming here to see me ball out. So I view it as look, that person came there to see you. They came there and they expected to see you. Now, regardless if you're hurting or not, just like Marcus said, I'll deal with my problems later. They came here to see you perform. They know what you're capable of and they want your 110%. So as healthy or unhealthy as it might be, you just bottle it up and you just let it go. At your workout, I mean, usually when I was coaching at 24, I had my lifts between 12 and 3 p.m., somewhere around there. So it was getting all those morning sessions out, and I was able to decompress at lunch and then finish it off the day on a high note. But yeah, they came there. We have, as a coach, you have an obligation, even though we are human, go through our own stuff. You have an obligation to be at your best all the time.
Yeah. Tough life. All right, Terrance, you want me to go? Do you want me to go? Or do you want Terrance to go?
Let's save Terrance for the last.
Okay, I'll go.
That's why.
Okay, all right. So for me, when I was at Syracuse, my mentor, I actually failed my first time taking the CSCS. And I was really fucking pissed off because I studied and I studied for it. And I thought I had it. I missed it by 2 points on the second part. And then I had to go back to Syracuse for the practice and stuff like that. I'm over there pissed off, not talking to anybody and stuff like that. Coach pulls me aside. It's bro, nobody cares about your fucking problems. And it wasn't this egotistical kind of thing. You never you have to be you every time you walk in here, and you have to be you 100%. because they're gonna feed off of you. I mean, now if you don't even believe it or not, you know what I mean? Like, these people look up to you. So if you're gonna come over here, you're gonna have a bad day. They're gonna come back and they're gonna feed off that energy, and they're gonna have a bad day. So that's 100% important that you are 100% the whole time. Now, to say that, I will never put on a fake mask. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna show my aggression. Is I will not allow myself to be booked all day, because I understand that I need time to decompress every single day, no matter if it's an hour. So I've learned my lesson of being booked all day and being stressed the fuck out. Yeah, I mean, not having time to lift and then being mad that I didn't have time to lift. Like, I actually get headaches when I plan something and it doesn't work out. So I know myself. So I will not allow myself to be booked, and I don't care if I lose money. Like these certain hours are mine. You know what I mean? So I'm allowed to go ahead, go home for a little bit, decompress, and then come back even better than I did the morning of, if I had a bad mood or whatever like that. So the mask, like, I never put a mask on. I'm exactly who I am 100% of the day, but they got to understand, like, these are my hours. Like, that right there is me time. I need time to decompress every single day. And I mean, that's the one thing that prevents me from being pissed off the entire day, or showing these clients like I'm off or something like that. Because you get me, like, I'm not one of those cheery, like let's go guys kind of person anyway. I'm really, really mellow, but I have intent with my words, and I want the best out of everybody, and the only way to get the best out of everybody is I'm the best myself. So even if I have a bad day, no matter what, like, I have time. Like, if it's like an hour, if it's 3 hours, man, like, those are my hours that I don't do shit. Don't bother me, don't text me, nothing. Like, I need those hours to decompress so I can do my best for everybody else. So I just won't allow myself to do that no more, because I've been there. You know what I mean? Like, those hours are mine. I don't mess with that no more. But yeah,
Gotcha.
that's me. All right.
Yeah, you guys pretty much like took everything I was gonna say. But I have a similar story. When I was at my internship, I came in, I was feeling really shitty one day. And same thing, the guy I was under pulled me to the side, and he was like, look, whatever you got going on, throw that shit out the door when you walk in. You know what I mean? So he was, you're providing a service. So sadly, when you're the one providing the service, whether you got something going on or not, and you're not feeling the greatest, you got to fix that mood up, because people are investing their time and their money into you. And in our business, sometimes we don't see people every single day. So if they're seeing us once a week, if they get that 2 weeks in a row of you being an asshole, or you being, a little on the downside, they're going to think this is how you are all the time. So what I learned, he was just, he told me, he was like, throw it out the window, come here, provide your service the way that you should be doing it. Because like you said, Evan, when we're training people for the hour, half an hour, whatever the situation is, we're the leader for the moment. So whatever energy that we're projecting, or whatever direction that we're leading, or whatever the case is, that's being projected onto the other person. So we have to be responsible for the way that we're projecting ourselves to someone else. Sometimes we might not even notice it, but maybe afterwards the client or somebody else might be, hey, you all right? You weren't yourself, or whatever like that. So if you're not noticing the type of energy you're projecting, you got to start, reevaluating yourself a little bit. But in the other point too, I remember at one point I was like working 6-7 days a week, and I feel like I was just busy working and not like productive working all the time. So even kind of setting my schedule to where people have to work more around me a little bit than me always just bending over backwards for somebody else's schedule, because times of like, travel, or, having gaps in your day that's just unnecessary, it just have you sitting around, fiddling with your thumbs and shit like that. It's not good for you. So I just kind of adjusted my schedule to where, one, I just try to keep everything a little more blocked in together. and I do make sure I leave space for myself, like you said, Evan, for you. Just because it's free time doesn't necessarily make it free time. Like, it should be stuff that maybe you need to recharge for a couple hours. Maybe you want to make sure you have a block in your day for you to work out, read, meditate, whatever your self-productive activity may be for you. Make sure no matter what the day is that you do have pieces in there for yourself. Because if you keep doing everything just for other people and you're not taking the time for yourself, you know, to reflect, be productive, or something that's going to help elevate you, you're just going to run yourself down over time. That shit can last temporarily, but over time, it's going to wear you out. And there's no money value or no dollar sign that can amount to your sanity.
Mm-hmm.
Not long term, at least.
No. Yeah. You can't be selfish. I mean, you can't be selfless until you're selfish. Like, that's the main priority. You got to do that. But yeah, like, we do it for other people. Like, you never know. Like, that hour, like, might be the best hour of somebody else's day. Yeah. And by you being off, like, you got to think about that. Like, that 1 hour might be the best part of their day. They're going to come and see you. You got to, like Marcus said, you got to put the fake mask on, or you got to fucking figure out ways to avoid that situation. Okay. Cause it is a long-term kind of thing. Everybody's really got to think about that. Like, you might say yes now, and that yes to being booked all day might be you booked three times a week and you don't have any time off. So making sure that you put yourself make yourself a priority. And I mean, yeah, money is important, but like, your sanity is worth 10 times more than that. You know what I mean? So you don't need to be booked. If you don't need to be booked all day to have a roof over your head or food on the counter or whatever like that, like, take time. Yeah, I mean, just take time. All right, that was great. Last one. Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry for the beat. Anyway. Okay. This is also screw you, Dustin. All right. Anyway. Okay. So this is another Terrance question, I believe. Okay. So how do you adjust for a client who seems to be lacking enthusiasm during a workout? Okay. I think this one's a good one. We'll start backwards, and we'll actually start with Terrance this time, and then I'll go. But yeah, just in the middle of the workout, just loses enthusiasm. What do you do?
So I've been through this situation before a couple times. The big thing is communication with your client. You know, so you need to find out what their background is. Some people come from a very sporty background. Some people don't. If the more you learn about your client in the sense of their hobbies and their interests, the better you can work with them. And they have to have a relationship where they're comfortable with you to speak up and let you know maybe some of the issues that they're dealing with. Because sometimes you'll have some issues going on with clients, whether it's physically, mentally, or whatever, and they're just not vocal enough about it, you know? So as a trainer, we should be approachable enough that our clients should feel like they can speak to us about any matter that they need to. Because I always tell them, like, there's things that I see, but I'm not in your shoes. I'm not in your head. I can't always figure out what's going on unless you tell me. So if we're looking at, you know, workouts over time, and I'm just looking at you like you're not giving the same effort that you once was, what's going on, you know? So maybe somebody just wants to change a pace or something like that. You know, maybe the type of training program that they're on, you know, is just maybe it's not that it's a bad program. Maybe it's just not the program for them at the moment. You know, maybe they want something a little more up tempo. Maybe they want something a little more on the strength side, or whatever the case is. I think just being able to, well, I think that even goes back into the personality conversation that we had early on, like figuring out their personality, what gets them motivated, and seeing what their hobbies or interests are. And then you can kind of tailor something a little more that they'll be motivated to come in and, you know, do their workouts.
Okay. Yeah. Piggybacking on what you said, we're therapists, like, believe it or not. Like, we talk with like for that hour, especially like if we're on private, like a lot of clients, like, like not only have us for that hour, but they have us like to work out, but have us for that hour of communication. Yeah, I mean, we're not in their shoes. We don't see them 24 hours. So they're, without even knowing it, they're accessing this line of communication. So like, can you calm the hell down? Okay, dog. All right. But they're opening this line of communication. Again, communication is key with your clients. I don't know, I've been told I have this real gift of like opening people up because I'm just so not vocal that people just talk to me anyway, even though I don't want them to, but they just do. Okay. But anyway, but yeah, I openly communicate with my clients. Like if they ever need anything, they have like, just tell me. And I'm very good at seeing things ahead of time. So if I see, like I can tell when people need like a deload from whatever they're doing within a week or two. Yeah, I mean, and that right there, if you don't see that, if like a client like is starting to decline and you don't see that, then that's actually your fault. Like you have to go ahead and proceed and correct there. Maybe it can be anything. You get me? Like again, we're not in their shoes 24/7. So a lack of enthusiasm can be something's going on in their marriage or something's going on at work, some new stresses and stuff like that. And it can be literally anything. So opening that line of communication, hey, like, do you want to switch something up? Hey, like, what's going on? You're not doing the same thing, or you're not progressing at all. Like, do you want to do something different or whatever like that? I think that's a huge key. And I think also, like, if it ever happens in the middle of a lift, I just start knocking off sets and I'll start doing some other things. Like, there's a tell right there. If they're not performing as they should in the program that you've created for them, that you've known for probably like maybe like, let's just say this client you know for 3 months, you know that client in and out. You should know their client in and out by 3 months. I'm sorry, if you don't, then you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
All right, but by then if something's going on, like you should know. But yeah, so if it happens in the middle of that, hey, let's back up. Like, let's back up. Let's do some other things. Like, manipulate your program for them. Don't manipulate that program, and it has to be done for what? I mean, it might not be the day. It can be a deload week or whatever like that. It can be a tell for what's going on for the next week or so. So yeah, just openly communicating, understanding that we're therapists and talking to your client all the time. I mean, I have a closed gym, so it's great. So like, it's literally just me and the client. You know what I mean? We talk about everything. So I think that's just a lot easier for me than a lot of like everybody else, because everybody else has an open gym in here. But like, if it's just me and the client, like, we talk all the time about my bullshit, her bullshit, like, or their bullshit. You know what I mean? So it builds a great bond between us. And I think that helps out a lot with just keeping that person like for a long time in general. I think it's important. All right. Who went the last time? Was it all right, Leo? I think it was Leo. Okay, Leo, what you got for me?
So I'm just going to repeat exactly what both of y'all said.
Yeah.
It's communication is key, straight from the get-go. Like, even on like their initial consultation with any new client, like, you should be able to extract some pieces of very personal information from them that's in the back of your head, that when you do have them as a client, you build upon that. So I've had like a great example. I had a young kid I was training at 24, and we were doing like squats or something. And it was like the first exercise of the day. I could tell he just like was not into this at all. But I knew that he played basketball all the time and like loved basketball. So I literally just racked the bar with him, and we went and shot threes for like 40 minutes. And we just mixed in like push-ups and slam balls, and like kind of made it where, all right, if you miss this 3, you owe me 3 push-ups. And it was just something that was like completely off of our programming, but it made it fun. So it made him like enjoy and be enthusiastic of his workout that he was doing. But it's because all he did was talk about basketball and him playing basketball in high school and stuff, that I just put 2 and 2 together, and I just had the whereabouts to just end the workout right there and completely switch it up. And then next training session when he came in, he was more enthusiastic. He was ready to get stronger, because he also realized he was not very good at push-ups and slam balls. So that kind of snowballed into him being more focused in our future training session.
Yeah, I think that's great. And it also builds like that, like, again, that trust in you. I mean, you saw that he wasn't up to it, then like let's do something else. So it gives you a variability, and it gives them like that kind of like, hey, I know he's got me if I don't like got it like in the gym. Marcus, what you got?
Similar to what you guys said, but
Stop copying.
well, I didn't even
But,
say anything.
okay,
So
go ahead.
I want to apologize for that. Um, no, it's it really comes down to like if you catch the person, and you start to when you first meet them at that gym for that day for their training session, like they're not feeling it, if you can tell, then I normally go with like a regen day and then just literally have a conversation while we're doing a lot of mobility work with them, and then that takes up the entire hour. I mean, just doing mobility work and just have them express what's going on with their life, and like you guys said, we are therapists, and you will learn so much more about that client, as you train them, like how many kids they have, where they work at, how's their traffic to work. Like you start really going through so much detail with that person, and you like sitting there, and you probably know your client better than they know themselves. But if my client, during the middle of like a workout is feeling enthusiastic, I literally take them on a treadmill for a couple minutes and just walk with them and just literally just talk a little bit so that they can just recompose themselves, and then just switch it to a light, maybe if it's a guy, arms and little abs, so that way like it's something that they like, and this is normally easy and fun, but at the same time it's like they could still let out some frustration even if they talk a little bit more. And for a female, same thing, I work a little bit of like just this core, a lot of like glute exercises, so that way we're still talking, we're still hitting areas that they still want to develop in, but at the same time it's like they're just releasing some of that frustration out in conversation, because most times you got to take a step back from just trying to train heavy or just train in general, and literally just talk to your client, and having them do something while allow them to talk. It's like knocking two birds with one stone. You still getting them to be active and fit and working on certain muscle groups that is necessary, but at the same time you're helping them release some of that pent up anger or frustration that they may have had, which is causing that mental block within their own working set. So definitely would say like at the coach trainer, you definitely have to sometimes just pull back completely and like, all right, you know what, we're just going to revamp the entire workout, like like Leo did, while still being having them work out in a different fashion without them realizing it.
Okay, Dustin.
So with the athletes, I mean, they're constantly go, 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 go. Like they have classes, they have workouts, they have practice, they have homework, they have tutors, they have all this stuff. So they're constantly, getting that stress and everything. And if, you see them kind of unenthusiastic, not really kind of just going through the motions and everything, maybe it's time to dial back the volume a little bit, dial back the intensity a little bit, throw in some more mobility stuff. And like all of you guys said, communication is key. You can't take away the attention from every single athlete in the room to focus on the one person who's having, that down day or not motivated. But like Coach G tells all the new guys, every single player that comes through, like, hey, my door is open after the session. If you just want to sit, talk, vent, whatever you need, I'm there. My door's open, come in. Let's try and get a little bit of work done, because we can't just, sit on a bench. Like they're there to get better, and they know that, help them understand that. But hey, after the lift, come into my office and let it out. So kind of just being there for them to listen, and communicating with them, because they are constantly go, go, go. And, they don't always have that person to talk to.
Yeah. I mean, the whole sum of it is communication. I think those days are more important than you think. The days of like them losing enthusiasm is huge for not that coach to athlete relationship, but that coach to client relationship, but just the length of time you have that client in general. I mean, like that day right there, if you don't see something going on, then that client will know, like, how did he not see that, or whatever like that. Or if you like, that's important. And I think right there is also goes into the fact of if they lose enthusiasm, not only is something else going on, but it also might be, like Terrance said, the program. So understanding what their goals are again, and then just like I talked about before in my last article, is digging a little bit deeper and understanding what their goals are, how you can get them there, and what we need to change, and like programmatically, in general. And I think that's big. Communication, all that stuff. All right, you guys got anything else? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I got a small comment. I
Okay.
do like that you guys brought up just kind of like I think it's good that you can go off the program sometimes. I think sometimes trainers get so married into like what their plan is sometimes that they feel like things have to go exactly how you have it planned out in your head. And it's like those days of, switching a workout for another workout, or like Leo said, like, fuck it, we're just going to go shoot threes for 40 minutes and do some push-ups. Marcus is like, yo, we'll do mobility. Like, those sessions are special. It gets you out of your brain and just takes you more to like the client side of it. It's like, all right, let's just get you back on track. Let's do something different. Let's get out of routine or whatever. It doesn't mean that you're gonna stay off of your plan, but it's just a little detour, just very minor, that you can just jump right back in. Or maybe after that session where you switch something up, you're gonna look at the overall plan different. And it's like, all right, maybe we'll start throwing in more days like this for this person. So it's like you're kind of meeting them in the middle. You're giving them something that you're realizing that, hey, they actually like this, so let's sprinkle these days in mixed with some of the other stuff that they need. And then you might actually be able to refigure a whole new plan for them that might get them back on track.
Well, you got to remember as trainers and coaches that no matter what plan we have for a particular day, we can't control the outside factors that these people go through. You know what I mean? Like there's been so many times where I had a plan for a trainer, for a certain client, and the same day when I see them, they're like, "Oh yeah, I pulled this, or I hurt this doing this." So it's like I'm looking at my program, like, well, I got to scrap the entire program now because you just hurt your back, or you went on a 10 mile run, and now your legs are like feeling like jello. So it's like, well, I have to switch it completely up and they understand that, like, sometimes that happen, you know what I mean? And you create a whole brand new workout on the fly. Yeah. But yeah, those are the ones that like they're sitting and looking at you like, yo, that was the best workout I've ever had. You're sitting there like, well, I don't know what the fuck I did. Like, I literally just made this workout in 2 minutes, but like it happens a lot for coaches and trainers, but the guys understand it, but they love the fact that that you're still willing to put so much effort in to the program, even if something went off the rails.
Yeah, one of the most important things as a coach, you got to be able to adapt, dude. Like, if you can't adapt, and I think that's even something that COVID taught a lot of us too. It's like, if you can't adapt to whether it's a new environment or doing things online or a new way to communicate with people, like, you're not going to go too far in coaching. Everything's not going to be the perfect setup for you. You might not have the turf field that you're used to. You might not have the full rack set up. If you walk into a gym and you got 2 kettlebells and you got 3 people to train, what are you going to do? You got to figure it out, right? So just being able to adapt as a coach is probably one of the most important traits that we should have. Yeah,
for sure. I think that's a great way to end it. All right. So, again, for the viewers, hold on, I dropped my Sharpie. I need my Sharpie. Anyway, okay. All right, for the viewers, all right, please like and subscribe all our stuff. Check us out on thecoachesvault.com for all our blogs and all our other entertainment. Okay, go on YouTube, The Coaches Vault. Watch this video if you guys have a chance. Well, if you guys obviously did watch the video, if you're at this point. Anyway, okay, I say dumb shit. Okay. Anyway, okay. But yeah, also follow us on Instagram at The Coaches Vault. Do all that stuff. We really appreciate you guys sticking around and dealing with our bullshit. And again, we're very soon gonna have more stuff for you guys. All right. So you guys, thank you guys for being here. All right, talking. Marcus, I'm gonna be calling you because you still need a hug. I feel it. I feel like you need a hug. Are you sure? Okay. Yeah. Well, this is a virtual hug from me to you. Okay. All right. Even though I hate you. Anyway. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Take it easy, man.
All
All
right.
right, bye, y'all.